we want to clean this data set that we collected from Amazon using a specific keyword that we searched for. These are the products that showed up after we did that search. The search was for portable GPS for cars. So I will download it, work with me. So this is the file. One of the first things I do with files that are CSV when I want to clean them is I convert them into the regular Excel workbook, XLSX. XLSX file. So this is not saving. Let's see what's happening. The file could not be accessed. This is a weird error because the file is open here. So I copied all the content and pasted here in a different file, and then I'm trying to save that file. Cleaned Amazon data. Okay. So that's the XLSX file. This is all the data that we downloaded. I want to also highlight a few rules of thumb when cleaning your data. One, URLs cannot and are not usually analyzed unless it's a study of URLs in particular. So URLs are not good data, not good, useful most often. So we don't need to keep URLs. For our case here, I want to take a look at some of those products to make sure I understand the data, the structure behind what we're seeing here. So this is one of our products, and I'm going to open a couple of these links to just try to understand the data sets. So you don't have to do this. You will see the results. Other than that, we're not interested in the URLs. We can delete those. The next one, as you can quickly tell, is the image of the product. Are you interested in the image? They're usually not analyzed unless you are doing image processing. You can delete those as well. What's the next? Variables with values that are not changing can be dropped. Let me say it that way, can be dropped. So this one is about a JavaScript. So when we are scraping the web, we collect junk plus useful data. So this is junk. You can delete that. We have a variable here, and for some entities it's sponsored, and for some it's blank or missing value. So if it's blank, I think we can quickly come to the conclusion that it means not sponsored. And for these, you can convert them to binary. So if a variable, this is again another room of Saw. If a variable takes two values, convert it into 0, 1 binary, and select a name that is descriptive, that is sufficiently descriptive. So in this case, we have sponsored here. So I will call this variable sponsored, whether it's sponsored or not. And I will convert those sponsored to ones. So I can go one step back, not change everything first. The common shortcut is Control H to replace the stuff, Control H or probably Command H on Mac. And I want to select that column and replace sponsored with 1 and hit replace all. So the numbers are right aligned now. You can see they're all 1. I also have blanks, but these blanks mean 0, not sponsored. So let me change the name of the variable to sponsored. I want to select those blanks. First, I select the column, and then I hit F5, which opens the go-to command in Excel. And I'm going to go to special blanks. This highlights the blank cells for me here. You can see that the blanks are selected within my data. Without doing anything, without clicking at all, I'm going to type 0 on my keyboard. I didn't click anywhere. And then Control Enter or Command Enter takes that 0 and puts it in all those selected cells. So I have my first clean variable set up here. I go quickly through it to make sure it looks nice. There's something here that I don't understand. Enter a new vehicle to add it to your garage and filter. So this is, as you can tell, this is noise. This is just bad data. So this should be either 0 or 1, but enter a new vehicle to add to your garage and filter the results below. So that's a problematic entry. And if we look at that, if you look at that row, you can quickly see that we don't have information for those other columns here. So this was a badly scraped page. We can easily right-click this row and delete it. You're all set here. So this raises an issue for us. So you can see, can you see the overlap between these two variables? You see those that we had as a sponsored, those that had 1 for sponsored are now shown as a sponsored here. Those that were not sponsored are showing prices. We have to make sense of this. Right now, I don't know exactly what this is. A popover preload. You're seeing this ad because on the product's relevance to your search query. Can someone quickly tell me the pattern here? Can you see the pattern here? We have this statement for all the sponsored ones. Can you see that? So if you are seeing a sponsored product, Amazon is telling you, you are seeing this ad because of what. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So that doesn't add any value to us. Basically, this is completely correlated with our sponsored. They contain the same data. So if I change these to 1, you can see that I will have the same data. So this is not useful. And this at checkout that appears here, it's from the other cell, the nearby cell. So basically for every sponsored product, we have this, and this is not adding any information. This is junk. All right, so far so good. We have another link here. Following the rule of thumb that we can't analyze links, I'm going to delete this link. All right, now I have this new variable, a link normal. The names aren't very clear what they are. Leave add feedback, 5 used and new offers. So this is information. This is not junk. So this is telling me that for some products there is used offers and new offers. Okay, so I will leave this as is. I have to further refine this, but leave add feedback. This is just happening for the sponsored ones, right? It doesn't add any value to our data here. So I'm gonna select this text and replace it with nothing. Control H, replace it with nothing. Replace all, get rid of those. But this I can keep. But if you pay attention to this column, the only thing that is valuable is the number in it. Can you see that? So everything else here is repetitive. So the number of used ones is the thing that's changing. The text is not changing. So I can quickly replace this unchanging portion again with nothing to get at that number, and the variable becomes used offers, and it's the number of used offers. Number of used offers, and you see I have a parenthesis open here as well. I can replace that again with nothing. This is something very popular for me, replacing stuff with nothing. And you want to make sure there's nothing here, replace all. And now I have a numeric variable. There are some missing values, obviously, a lot of missing values. This is not a very useful variable, but we can always do what we did before. Select, click F5, special const blanks, select the blanks and replace that with 0, type 0, control or command enter. And this is a new variable. So far, we have 3 interesting variables. The link is not interesting, we delete that. This is the description of the product. Sometimes we can do stuff with it. So I rename it and keep it, make this section smaller. The next one again is a code, JavaScript void, not changing. This is again garbage. We have the ratings out of 5 stars, and you can quickly tell that the out of 5 stars section with the space before it is repetitive and just useless information. So this would become stars or rating, and I would select this column and Control H, replace this portion with nothing. So places like this where you see text, it's coming from the previous section because there's no number here. So I would quickly do something like this. Select the blanks here as well. Again, another link. Let's delete that. Size base, so 1456. What is that? We come to our data. 1456. At the time, it was 1456, but now it's 1514. That's the number of ratings. So this becomes the number of ratings. You don't want to have spaces in your variable names. So I put underscore there. Here, again, you can see it's an error. This is bad quality data. And how do we deal with that? Is it the only one? Only 2 left. So there's a couple of bad data here. We can convert them into missing by using NA and not available. And keep them for now. Sometimes in our analysis, we get rid of these. This is also, there's a couple of blanks as well. So those would be an A as well. So these are not related to our goal here. Oh, we have so many of them. All right, almost there. I will also do F5, replace blanks with NA. I will type NA, Control Enter, and I will have NA in all the blanks as well. The next one is a link. Let's get rid of that. The next one is price, and now you can see then 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys are basically a breakdown of this price, so I can delete those, and this will be called price. Okay, what's the next one? Get it as soon as, free shipping. By Amazon, get it as soon as. They get it as soon as has no value. Does everyone agree? It doesn't mean anything. So we can quickly replace that. Control H. Replace with nothing. And for some of them, you're getting free shipping. This one is get it. Get it again doesn't mean anything for us. So this is a kind of a useless variable, but it has some information. We will keep it for now as free shipping, but we have to deal with it later. So this is the date by which time you could have received the product. Because we don't have the beginning date, this end date doesn't give us much value. I delete it. Free shipping by Amazon, you can see all these other ones also have free shipping. So these should also, well, most products on Amazon have free shipping. So these ones should be combined, free shipping to. So I'm going to replace these words with just the number 1. If it has free shipping, it's a 1. Replace all. And here too, on this column too, if it's free shipping by Amazon, replace with 1. Then I will combine these two using a single trick in a moment. So what do we have here as the last variable? More buying choices, only 1 left, only 3 left. This is interesting data, how many are left. If we had people's responses, seeing that only 11 is left, did people go ahead and buy it because there was fewer left, they were rushed into buying? Since we don't have that purchase data, this is not going to be very informative for us. We could keep it, but in the way we can use this data, because we don't have purchase data, we just have product descriptions. This is not going to add much value. And here we have some long statements of the same idea. Free shipping. Free shipping we can replace with 1. So our data is almost 100% clean. There's a couple of points to fix. So here, to combine the two adjacent ones, the adjacent columns, free shipping, I will write a conditional statement equals if logical test. If this one equals 1, then 1. Otherwise, another if this one equals 1, otherwise 0. This basically means if one of these is 1, make this a 1, otherwise make it a 0. Then I will paste this function all the way down. So if one of these is 1, this value would become 1. So we can get rid of these two as well. The only fact is that we have some prices here, some additional information that reduces the quality of the data, but we can safely assume that those data are not very informative. And we can ignore that. If there's a price here, basically it means that the shipping is not free, and that's a 0 in our books. We just have to make sure this is, since this is a formula in this column, we have to make sure we copy this and paste over itself as values. So the column is not dependent on these two when we delete those two. All right, this gives us a much clearer set of data. The only thing that remained, we haven't fixed. Let me see. This is final almost. So price has some missing values. So we can F5 those and replace blanks with NA, which is, we type NA, control enter, and missing values become NA. Usually we look at those in an analysis and do something about them. We have all our data. The description isn't usually that important because it's text. I would cut it and take it to the first column, insert cut cells. Okay. So this is the discussion, the description. Was it sponsored or not? The only unclean variable here is this one. So we already know if it's a sponsored, we have the sponsored data here. So these contain the same information. We can get rid of the information for sponsored by replacing sponsored with nothing. And then we have some additional data here. So this one takes a little bit more digging to figure out. So this is the column we're interested in. No, that's not the one. This is the one. So what about this product? Let me see what this is. You have a 179, price is 239. It could be a discount. All right, in the interest of time, we don't know what this variable is, so we keep it unknown for now. It takes more time to clean this variable, but everything else is clean. And if we want to find all the blank ones in this one, you can click here, Control or Command A, select the entire table, do an F5 on it, special blanks, identify blanks, and the blanks are selected. You can fill them with color so you know which cells are blank. This is a very clean data set except for that variable. And this one doesn't have a description, doesn't have a price. Can you see it's a problematic field? You can delete that. Okay, and we're in business. This is a clean data set. If I can really ignore this column and just let it go, the data set is clean. The only thing that has to be fixed is this column, which is not clear what it is. That's our data set. And we did this. We filled blank cells with NA. Did we do anything else? We deleted repetitive textual data from the fields. I think that's the most of it. All right, thank you for spending this time with me.